All right, what is up, guys? My name is Neffsy or Seth. You guys probably know that by now, or you don't know that. You're newer here. I live trade on TikTok, and I trade full time. I'm a full time trader. I trade a very discretionary strategy, but with this free course, I will be going over how I trade, how I find my entries, and stuff like that through these next few videos. If you are newer into trading and you are looking for someone to teach the basics, I'm not the person. I don't really teach the basics. So if you don't understand how a candle opens and closes and stuff like that, you would want to go watch those videos before you watch my videos, because I'm not going to go over that stuff. And I have been planning on making these free videos for a while, because the reason I haven't, and I've been pushing it off for the past 3 weeks to a month, is because I hate editing. So I probably will not edit a lot of these videos. They're going to be very raw. They're going to be very uncut. I'm going to stutter. I'm going to fuck up words. I'm going to repeat myself a lot. And that's just because I don't want to edit it. I might edit it. I don't know. I'll see how this goes. But maybe you'll see this part. Maybe you won't. But anyways, today I will be going over key levels, how I use them. I usually use them as full TPs or reversal points. I am a continuation trader. I trade a lot of continuations. So when I'm looking for a reversal, I will wait for a sweep of something and then wait for the reversal to happen, retest, and then I will take it off the retest or the break of the retest. That's just how I trade, and that's how I've boosted my win rate a lot higher than what it used to be. But the reason I am doing this is because I feel like mentorships are a scam. I feel like people get hosed to get taught things that one probably don't work. With saying that, I will say, when I first got into live trading and I first got into the social media side of things, I did have a mentorship. It was like $60 to $100, and that was for a lifetime membership. I still have those people in there that I still do teach, and they can reach out to me and ask me questions and stuff like that. And I did have a one-on-one mentorship that was a few $100s. I'm just putting it out there. So when I sit here and talk shit about mentorships, people aren't like, well, you had a mentorship, I don't want that to come out. So if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a very open person. I'm a very open trader with how much I make and stuff like that. And I feel like there's a lot of frauds in the community. I feel like there's a lot of people that lie about things. So I try to be somewhat of a beacon of light, to not to be that person. I've said this a lot, but I will be going over a trade that I took and explaining why I took it and the key levels and stuff like that. And then, the next videos will go over entries. The next videos will go over when I am no longer looking for longs, when I feel like we are in premium, or when I am looking at price and I'm seeing us in a discount and I no longer look for shorts. Because there will be times where I'm live trading and I will watch a trade short another 100 points and I will not short it because I feel like we are not going to be going much lower. So there are times where I will look for reversal points and I will look for a continuation off of a reversal. But those will all be different videos. I'm just kind of explaining everything I'm going to go over with this, since this is the first episode or first video. But right now I will be going over key levels, how I use them, and what they are. And people can have different key levels. These are just the key levels I use. With saying a lot of this, I am a very simple trader. I don't use fair value gaps. I don't use order blocks. I don't use any of those ICT concepts. I never watched the ICT mentorship. I was never really into that. I don't use infers, fair value gaps, or any of that kind of stuff. I just mainly trade price action and key levels and a little bit of support and resistance. That has worked for me. This might not work for you, but this works for me. And like I said, I'm a very discretionary trader, so I will explain what went through my head to take these trades and the trades that I go over. And after I finish this, I will be going over, I'll start doing trade recaps for the trades that I take during lives or trades that I take off lives. I will be going through what went through my head. And like I said, I'm not cutting this video. Hopefully I don't have to cut this video. I'm just going to raw dog it. I'm just going to raw dog it and just go through it. And if you guys watch any of these videos and you guys have any questions, I do have a free Discord. It is linked on my YouTube channel. And I do stream very consistently on TikTok for London session. I'm a London session trader. I don't really trade New York or Asia. And a lot of people ask me, why don't you trade New York? I just feel like it's very manipulative and it's harder to read. With London, I can read it very well. I've spent a lot of time trading London, so I'm more comfortable as a London trader. And I also live in Washington State, so market open for me for New York session is 6:30 in the morning. and London open for me is midnight, and I'm usually awake at that time, so I choose to trade London. I also do use VWAP. I know there's a lot of VWAP haters, but I do use VWAP as another confluence. But yeah, like I said, I don't trade a lot of ICD concepts. I don't trade what all these TikTok influencers are pushing, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, but this made me profitable. This made me profitable. This mentor made me profitable, and this mentor has 100,000, 200,000 fucking TikTok followers and YouTube subscribers and stuff like that." And how I look at things is, if 90% of people are unprofitable, sorry, my mic picks up everything. You guys are going to hear me swallow. I do have a velo in, so you guys will hear me swallow and smack my lips. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to get through that. But like I was saying, there are people who swear by other people's models, and they're like, oh, this model works, blah, blah, this and that. Well, you have to think 90% of people aren't profitable. So if 90% of people are unprofitable and those 90% are using the same exact strategy, someone's fucking lying, because there is no way that 90% is profitable when the statistics shows that that's not true. But I digress. Anyways, so key levels, in my opinion, for London is Asia high, Asia low, and then previous day high and previous day low. We also have this new week opening gap. So this trade for me was a weird spot, because we have this new week opening gap, but we also have all-time highs up here. So this was Thursday night, which would technically be Friday if you were a London trader. So this is Thursday night for me. These were two trades I took live, one loss and one pretty good win. I did trail out of the win, but I could have held it to my full TP. I also do consistently trade 2 minis, 20 micros, because I do take partials. I will partial at certain internal highs, but I will probably go over that on a different video. Maybe I'll go over this video. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. I'm very bad at making videos, and that's kind of another reason why I didn't want to do this, but I just keep seeing people spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on mentorships and stuff like that, and I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me, knowing, everything I went through to get into trading and all that, and knowing that, like, I used to work a blue collar job, so I understand, like, that when you have a family, when you have rent, when you have stuff like that, especially in this economy, spending a few $100s to hopefully learn something is crazy, which is another reason why I wanted to do this for free. But we have Asia high up here, we have Asia low down here, and I have this indicator. This is TradingView. I have this indicator that shows me this stuff, but you can also mark them out yourself, just where Asia high is, where Asia low is, where New York high was, where New York low is, where previous day high is, where previous day low is. Those are targets for me. Those are also points where I'm looking for reversals. Right here, we're in the middle of this area. We have Asia high up here, Asia low, and this new week opening gap, but we also have all-time highs up here. So in my opinion, when I first took this trade, I was looking for a continuation short to at least tap into this new day opening gap. We did not do that, and so I got faked out. Let's see if I can get to it. Okay, there's that. So we broke out of this consolidation range, and I was thinking that this was a swing high to then take this. I took it right in here when we got this retest. Right there. I took this short right here, and I got stopped out because I put my stop at these highs. But after that, I was like, okay. So as you can see, we come down, and this is our new low. And here's also how I look at these. This would be a support. This would be a support. This is a resistance. We broke this resistance, came down, made a higher low, and then I was on Discord when I was live trading this. I was on Discord with a friend. I told him to take it right here. I didn't take it right here, but I told him to take it right here. He's my little test dummy. But I told him to take it right here, anticipating us to push all-time highs, because all-time highs. So key levels, in my opinion, are draws, which price is going to want to take one of them. If we are in the middle of them, I'm looking for where price wants to go, and I'm reacting to where price wants to go. I am never the kind of person to be like, well, maybe we take this. I want price to show me where we are going, and I'm riding with that. We are retail traders at the end of the day. So what we want to do is we want to move with where the big buyers or big sellers are going. We don't want to try to fight the trend. We don't want to try to fight what other people are doing. We don't want to guess where price is going. We want to be in with where price is going. And I know that might not make sense, but that's just how I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, where are the institutional buyers and institutional sellers wanting to go? Where is the next draw where we could go to that we could get a reversal off of? Now, at times, we will just ride in here in between key levels, but that's not what happens here. Like I said, we have all-time highs up here. We have Asia high up here. When I am TPing, I actually go a little bit below a key level, because at times during London, we won't take the full key level. We'll reverse in here, or we'll reverse in here, or something like that. We won't always fully take the key level. You can target those key levels, but I will partial internal highs, or I'll partial 1 to 2s. A lot of my trades are like that I hold for a long time, are usually 1 to 10s, 1 to 5s, 1 to 4s, depending on how big my stop loss is. And I did hit a 1 to 30 one time on live, and that was pretty crazy. That's probably the best trade I've ever taken. I had like a 5-point stop, and it was a 1 to 30, so it was pretty crazy. But that's not very consistent. That's like here and there when I'm just holding a few micros to hold to its full TP. And I'll go over like the partialing and stuff. But anyways, my friend, and so here's my thought process on this. I actually had my friend, because I have a friend that I teach trading to, one of my really good friends, but I had him partial at VWAP, because a lot of the times it will come up to VWAP, it'll fight here and then dump off of it, or we'll come flip it, tap back into it, and then continue higher off of it. But VWAP, in my opinion, is a very strong confluence. But yes, anyways, I will go over this trade now. This is the exact trade that I took. So my friend was in this right in here, and I got in right off the, okay, come on, right there. I got in off the break. He got in here, I got in off the break. So I got in here and I stop lost a few points below the swing low, because if we come down here, it'll invalidate, and we'll probably take this next one. And then I targeted 125 was my full TP. That's what I targeted. I could have targeted all-time highs, which is another very strong draw. All-time highs is a very strong draw. So even though we have this new day opening gap, which I actually tried to short right in here, and I did get stopped out down to 400 when we got taken out. So I was down 400 starting the night, but I entered with 2 minis right in there, stop down there, and then my TP, let's say all-time highs. My TP was 125 instead, because I wasn't sure if we were going to push all-time highs during London. I knew that we would probably push it during New York, because like I said, at all-time highs, a lot of times I will just only look for longs, and I will let shit like this happen to then look for longs. But I was in this right about here. I did suffer a little bit of drawdown, but now we're in this, a little bit of drawdown. Now there's a new swing low, and we've created a new high, which, you know, made me more comfortable with this trade. We're fighting off VWAP. We flip it, still in it, and see how we're fighting above it the whole time. So I had my friend take a partial here. That's only like a 1-to-1, but I had him take a partial there, and he took some of his position out and then was break even. And then we just let this go from there. And then here is another high where I partialed. I could have partialed here. I partialed here. So I partialed at 0.93. I took 10 out there because I was in with 20 micros. I took 10 out there, and then I was break even. So now I'm looking for a new high to get taken. So it could have been up here, or it could have been here. I could have partialed again. I don't exactly know exactly where I partialed. I know I partialed here or here, but after that, we get some retest. We took out these lows. We tap back into VWAP. Tap back into VWAP, went a little bit below it. I almost got break even. And if I would have just sat here, break even, and let this ride right at London open, we get a hard push up. Close to all-time highs. Didn't fully take me out, right? But if I was holding with my position to the 125, I would have been taken out off of London open. And we're just going to let this chop for a while. Fuck, I do got to go break even to prove. Okay, there you go. Well, I'm out. And there we go. So this is like holding to draws. I mean, we got edged. We could have just gotten out, like trailed your stop or anything like that. But those are key levels. Key levels are mainly just draws, and my entry was looking for a continuation to come back up to these highs and take these highs because, like I said, very strong draws. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that would really make sense. The next video I'm going to be going over entries, how I find entries to look for continuations, and how I use the fib to look for continuations where I want price to respect and then continue. But that is like 90% of the way I trade. I'm just mainly looking for continuations in a direction. Some people will probably be like, well, there's a front rally gap there respected. I don't use that. I'm big on not overcomplicating trading. But if I would have held that trade the whole time, that would have been $3,800 with 2 minis. And that's like, basically, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's like most of it. I hope that makes some sort of sense. But yeah, so those are key levels. Key levels are, in my opinion, Asia low, Asia high, previous day low, New York high, New York low. You can also use like previous, like London highs and lows, or previous Asia highs and lows. But those are key levels. I use those for targets, and I use those for reversal points. And I want to see one of those taken at some point throughout the day or the night, and those are usually what I'm targeting when I'm calling pretty big TPs. So like if I would have gotten in down here, I still would have targeted Asia high. But yeah, those are draws that I use very consistently to TP at, or to where I think price is going to push to. So I hope that makes sense to some people. And I will be making another video on entries and psychology, and I hope that these help somebody who is kind of stuck or is still stuck in the whole ICT and the whole inverse for value gaps and stuff like that. Yeah,